Good afternoon and welcome into the 3 Show, everyone. I'm Vinny Paracelli. There are just 10 teams remaining in the chase for the Frazier Cup. 6 of them will be joining us next week in St. Louis. One team is already a win away. We'll take a look at the Frontier Division Finals from last night, as well as the other series from around the league.
We need to start with a quick recap of Round 1 in the Central Division. The Rochester Grizzlies beat the Peoria Mustangs in 3 games. The Grizzlies scored a shutout in Game 1. The Mustangs returned the favor in Game 2 before Rochester took home a 5-1 victory in Game 3. Then in the other Central Semifinal, the Tradesmen scored a 2-1 win in Game 1 on the road before sweeping the series the next night with a 3-2 win in double overtime. Dylan Schmidt scored late to tie it up, and he also scored the game winner. In the East, the Generals swept the Long Beach Sharks. They won Game 1 by a score of 9-3 and then held on to win Game 2, 2-1. Danbury and Norwich went the distance. The Junior Hat-Tricks scored a 4-0 win in Game 1 as Nick Rogers had a hat-trick. Jack Kinahan scored twice in a 3-1 win for Norwich in Game 2. Then in Game 3, it was Danbury coming away with a 3-1 victory. They move on to face the Generals. In the Frontier, we had 2 sweeps. Helena scored late in Game 1 to tie it up, and then in overtime, it was Tyler Aldridge delivering the game winner just 47 seconds in. They grabbed a shutout in Game 2 to finish off the Butte Cobras. Gillette took down the Sheridan Hawks 5-3 in Game 1 as Sky Solig netted 2 goals. The following night, we needed overtime as Anthony Foster scored 5 minutes in to end the series and help the Wild advance. Then in the South, we had our only upset, as for the third time in league history, a 4 seed has knocked off a 1 seed. New Mexico, in their first season, took down the Texas Roadrunners. Texas took Game 1 on home ice in convincing fashion. The Ice Wolves turned the tables in Game 2 to even things up. Then back in Albuquerque, the Ice Wolves finished the job, completing the upset. Alexandria in 2019 over Granite City, and last year's Texas Roadrunners over the Texas Brahmas were the only other 4-1 upsets. Speaking of the Brahmas, they will be meeting the Ice Wolves in the South Division Finals as they beat the Louisiana Drillers in 3 games. The Brahmas took Game 1 in OT as Henry McRoberts scored with just a second left to lift Texas to a win. Louisiana came back the next night and got 2 goals from Rory Niche in a 4-2 win to force a decisive Game 3. But it was too much Brahmas in Game 3 as Michael Imala scored twice, and Texas wins Game 3 4-1. In the West, it was an easy one for Granite City as they beat Wilmer 7-1 in Game 1. 4-point night from Zach Kennett led the way. Then the next night, the Jacks scored 4 unanswered goals as they swept the Warhawks with a 4-2 win. Then our final semifinal, it went 3 games as Alexandria defended home ice in Game 1, hanging on to win 3-2. Mason City would defend their home ice in Game 2, winning 3-1. Then in Game 3, it was a 1-goal game going to the third, but a 6-goal outburst from the Blizzard gave them a 9-2 victory in the winner-take-all game. Now we move on to the division finals. In the Central, we've got Oregon taking on Rochester. The Tradesmen were in first place, but lost their last 3 games to give up home ice to the Grizzlies. For Rochester, 13 players registered a point in the series against the Mustangs. Tate Cothran was pretty good in goal, going 2-1, giving up just 4 goals in the 3 games, picking up a shutout in Game 1. Oregon got 2 goals from Schmidt, like we mentioned, and 2 from Carter Waters. Connor Byrne and Hayden Shoemake each had 2 points as well. Tyler Fromholz gave up just 3 goals in the series and logged a save percentage of .957. In the regular season, these teams split their series 4-4. In the East, it's the Northeast Generals against the Danbury Junior Hat-Tricks. Phil Feinberg and Davis Kinney led the way in the first round with 4 points apiece. Braden Kennedy notched 3 goals for the Gens, while Caden Hess and Matthew Nozzolillo each had 3 points in 2 games. Ian Kangas and DeMar McCoy both won their games in the series. Nick Rogers is tied for the league lead with 5 points so far in the postseason. 10 players had points, so Danbury's certainly getting help from all over. Ryan McGuire went 2-1 in goal. He gave up just 4 goals in 3 games. He logged a 38-save shutout in his first playoff game. Northeast, however, won the season series 7-1. The Frontier Division Finals are already underway as the Gillette Wild scored a 5-2 win over the Helena Bighorns in Game 1 last night. The series shifts to Helena tomorrow night as the Bighorns will look to keep the series alive. Can't say their season is on the line for sure because they still can get in as the wild card as long as Northeast and Granite City get in, but that remains to be seen. Sky Solig with 2 goals last night. He's got 4 for the playoffs now. Foster has 5 points. 3 others have 3 points in their 3 playoff games. 15 players have registered a point for the Bighorns through 3 playoff contests. Tyler Bloom and Braden Cunningham lead the way with 3 points each. Helena went 4-2 in the season series, and that's why they have home ice advantage as they finish the season with the same exact record. In the South, the Brahmas got 4 points from Michael Imala, 3 from Ben Mondu and Gage Viersba, 2 points from 4 other players. Brendan Fordham was pretty good in the opening series, going 2-1 with a 241 goals against average and a 921 save percentage. The Ice Wolves are looking to become the first ever 4 seed to reach the Frazier Cup. Braden Whitesell leads all Ice Wolves with 5 points. Ryan Tallarico finished the series with 3 goals. 13 players logged a point. Lots of weapons on this Ice Wolves squad. Krzysztof Jakubowski went 2-1 in the previous series with a 233 goals against and a 926 save percentage. In the regular season, the Brahmas went 5-1 against New Mexico. Granite City and Alexandria will meet in the West Division Finals. Zach Kennett and Kyle Mortensen led the Jacks with 4 points each. They had 3 players pick up 3 points over the last 2 games. Ryan Lahette in net was really good in their series against Wilmer. Just 3 goals given up. He had a save percentage of .957. That was second among all goaltenders in round 1. Sean Kenny had 4 goals and 5 points for the Blizzard in the first round. Hayden DeMars and Wyatt Johnson each had 4 points of their own. 7 other players had multi-point series. Conrad Kausch had a 2-1 record with a 233 and 911 in between the pipes. The season series went the way of the Lumberjacks as they went 4-3 on the year against the Blizzard.
You can watch the Division Finals on NAHL TV, follow the league on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube for the latest content, and follow all the games live on na3hl.com or the NA3HL app. Thanks for joining us this week on The 3 Show. We'll be back next week to preview the Frazier Cup Championship Tournament and recap the Division Finals. Until next time, I'm Vinny Paraselli.